I'm ready.
Awesome. Let's do it.
All right. Well, first things first. Happy Thanksgiving to all our people out there. Hope you guys were able to see family and friends and stay safe, eat a lot, um, get some shopping done as well. Hope you got some stuff. But yeah, anything from you?
Just remember who was massacred, though, during Thanksgiving.
Okay. All right.
So we can't forget we're on stolen land.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Okay.
Thanksgiving is, it is what it is. But anyway, that's my little little bit for the day. You're going to be hearing a lot more from Ryan this episode, so I'm going to finally take a step back and not talk as much.
Yeah, and if you are hearing this and you're like, he sounds a little different, I am still getting over my cold that I got from Myrna's niece. I 100% blame her. Um, so
Yeah.
so yeah. So today it's all about kind of like the 3 month span of how Myrna and I got engaged, and kind of how the people who didn't like the thought of us being together, how they had to come to terms.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's going to be another packed episode for sure.
yeah, but I think we'll be okay though. All right, so where we left off last time, um, yeah, it was kind of on a sour note, wasn't it? No one was really on board,
Yeah.
denial.
Yeah, there was quite a few times where, again, like my family was just not coming to terms. And when I say my family, I mean like my mom and my dad. And I just remember my mom like talking to a lot of family members that she, trusted with this kind of news, if you want to call it news. Um, and, majority of them like were surprisingly like up for it, like they were fine, like they were like kind of telling her like, if she's happy, she's happy. Like I have at the time I had cousins that literally just came from Iraq, like my grandma's sister, and like on my mom's side, so she would be a great aunt, right? Would she be a great aunt? Yeah.
Oh,
So great aunt because she's my mom's aunt, um, and her kids and stuff like literally just came from Iraq, and my mom's like telling them my daughter's dating a black guy and blah 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 blah, and like I just remember them telling her like, what did you expect? You lived in America for like 30 years, like so what, as long as the guy is a good guy, like that's all that matters. And it's just crazy. Like, you would think like back home they would have like a more strict mentality, but like it's very funny. Like people who live in America and have lived in America for so long, like they're more strict than it is back home, which is kind of crazy. So, and we'll get into what they did for us and our engagement when we got engaged and all that stuff later on in the episode.
yeah. So it was such a weird thing to go back to because I was thinking, how did we get from that to me feeling comfortable enough to ask for Marina's hand?
Mm-hmm.
And it was really hard to like remember, you know, just how we got to that point. But um, I think it was a lot of, again, cousin Peggy talking to them and just trying to talk them through it, and then
My brother too.
Mark as well, and then I think Mirna kind of being proactive. We would go visit Mirna's dad at the liquor store every so often
Mm-hmm.
to just to go drop by during the nights to see if he was okay, and I think that kind of just helping, I guess, him visualize us together more and more
Yeah,
helped it
because
as
he
well.
would he would also like introduce you to the customers, which
Yeah.
which were predominantly black,
Yeah.
at my dad's liquor store. And it's just like, I think it was like, hey, look, like, we accept, black people in our family and stuff like that, so it's like, it kind of was like, it's weird. It's like he was happy to introduce you, to the black customers, but like he was still feeling, if I can recall correctly, like he was still feeling like, I
Yeah,
don't
of
know about
course.
this,
Yeah.
like in his own way, he was still hoping that we were going to break up.
Yeah. But it did help normalize the thought of us being together a little bit more for him.
Yeah. Because seeing the customers like being so happy, like, oh my gosh, like, you dating a brother, like they would always joke about that and stuff. Like it was so funny. So, like I think like how easygoing, the customers were and like how they took the news and all that stuff. Like they weren't like racist towards me and saying like, nah, like you should be dating a black girl to like Ryan or something, or like, whatever. Like they're like acting like it should be separate.
Yeah. So yeah, so random, we would try to show up at the liquor store randomly. But it was like, once every couple of weeks we would go. Um, I can't remember if we ever had like breakfast or lunch together.
I think if I can recall, I don't know if this was like after the engagement or before, but like I do recall my dad like asking you to come for breakfast. Like as I mentioned before, I used to have breakfast with my dad. Well, I still do. Um, have
Oh,
breakfast with my dad. Well, like every Saturday and stuff, and he would like invite Ryan or
yeah.
tell me to tell him to invite him or something like that.
But yeah, and then during all this, I'm asking Marina's dad and Marina's brother to talk to Marina's mom to see, if she would ever, I guess, just open up to the idea more. And unfortunately, up to this point, it never really happened.
Yeah.
So about a month before I, we got engaged, I'm planning this thing.
Wait, do you want to talk about how my dad like would invite you to soccer games and stuff? Like one time, yeah, one time. That's also how we were getting to know him, or like he was getting to know you. Like one time, he was there. So the World Cup was happening in 2018, and me and my dad like love watching soccer. We love watching the World Cup. So, um, Ryan and I would like try to invite my dad to like watch the soccer games and stuff. So like one time, we invited him to B Dubs, Buffalo Wild Wings. I believe on Hall. No, not Hall Road, but
No, it
like
was right. It was right by
on
L.A.
Mound.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we invited him just to kind of like, cause just to kind of like get him comfortable around Ryan. Because it does take my dad a little bit to like get comfortable around somebody. Um, so we would invite him to like the games and stuff. And in that particular time, my dad surprised us with my uncle,
Yeah.
who's like, my uncle's a comedian in the Chaldean community. So like he's like a famous comedian, does like plays and stuff like that. So, my uncle's way of like getting to know somebody is like making them laugh. So he came in and what did he say to you, Ryan?
He's he said I was gonna beat you up until I saw how big your back was, and I was like, oh god. Jeez.
So, that's just like one way. And then when the final came between France and Croatia, like me and Ryan literally like tried to find we literally like researched where we can watch the game, where it's like where it's everybody's going to this specific place to watch football, like football.
Yeah.
So like we found this soccer bar in downtown near Eastern Market, and we literally drove to the place before the World Cup final just to make sure like this place was a legit soccer bar.
Yeah, because we went there before, like I think it was like the weekend before,
Yep.
just to make sure it was the right place. And we go in and asked the bartender, who I think was the owner or the manager of the
I think
place,
so, yeah.
and we're like, "Yeah, do you guys play soccer games?" And he's like, "Yeah, we play. This is that's all we play here is soccer." And he's like, "Yeah, like English Premier League, whatever, like UEFA, like." And he has banners of some English teams handing up over his bar. Not baseball, not
Nothing.
football. It's just straight up soccer teams from all
Lit-
over the world.
Literally, he's like, I was like, so we asked him the question, like, are you, do you guys play soccer? Are you going to play the World Cup final? All that stuff. He's like, we are a soccer bar.
Yeah.
Soccer first, bar second. I
Yeah.
was like, okay, I'm sold. So we ended up taking my dad over there, and we had so much fun, and it was packed. It was
Yeah.
packed. Obviously this was pre-COVID, and everybody's drinking, having a great time, and like there were even some people who were French, there, and they went crazy when France won.
I think I have a video
Yeah.
of
If you have
the
a video,
celebration.
I'll post it on stories. I'll make a
Yeah.
note of that because that was really fun. So, like we would try to like figure out interests that we think that my dad would have to just kind of ease the comfort. So like if you're going through a similar situation, like if you're like if your dad or if your mom like has like a specific interest, you know, try to if you use that interest like to an advantage in getting to know the person that you're dating, and between your family and that person, like getting to know each other, because like that really really helped. Like I mean, it's a good thing the World Cup was going on during this time, because it's like my dad doesn't really watch like just random soccer games. Like he likes to watch like World Cup, U21, all Asia Cup, like all of the like big championships and stuff. So it was nice that the World Cup was going on, and that was like a way for him to get to know Ryan, and Ryan to get to know my dad and stuff. So
Yeah, and plus again, it kind of normalizes, you two together, like them seeing you, like instead of it just being you telling them about him
yeah,
or her,
yeah,
they can see how you guys act together. They can see how you guys interact with each other and things of that nature. So it makes it a little bit more normal
yeah,
instead of
like
just, oh, I'm hearing about it, but
yeah, because like I wanted my dad to see like Ryan's a chill dude, like I wanted my dad to see like everything that I see in Ryan, like he's a chill, respectful guy, loves to have fun, loves to be around people, like loves to watch sports, like you can call him up anytime and just like say, hey, do you want to do this? And he'll be like, yeah, sure. Like he's not like, negative or rude or disrespectful or anything like that. So, yeah.
yeah. But all right, after that, so I think it was that summer still, Merna and I had gone to the mall a couple of times, and I think the objective was to go at least get her ring size.
Ring size, and I wanted to like pick out like my ring shape.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I remember I wanted oval for the longest, and then all the ones that I tried on, I was like, no, round is like, classic. So
Yeah, so we went to do that. We went to a bunch of different jewelers at 12 Oaks, and we got our ring size. And I think this is very important. Like if you're a woman, like if you're gonna be wearing this ring the rest of your life, you gotta know exactly what you want. Like
mm-hmm.
you don't want whoever just to buy you some random ring that you don't really like the shape of or the style or whatever. So
Well, same goes for the men too, because I definitely asked Ryan. I was like, "Well, what are you into?" And he's like, "I just want a black ring."
literally, my ring was how much off Amazon?
$20.
Yep, that's all I need.
I got him.
And I don't even wear it. I wear my little my what is this?
Silicone.
Yeah, the silicone ring, because I hate the feeling of metal on metal, and when you're at the gym and you're holding on to bars and all that stuff,
Yeah.
it's the weirdest feeling.
So he has a silver, like metal ring, and then a black metal ring, and then his blue silicone, because blue's my favorite color, and I have a red silicone, and then I have my wedding ring and engagement ring. And he
Yeah.
only wears the black or the silver one on like occasions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Literally just wears this little bright blue silicone ring everywhere he goes.
Yeah. Literally, like if you see my hands, then either you're just blind to the fact that I'm married, or you can tell that I have a ring on. So
Yeah.
no excuses on anybody else's part. But yeah, so we go and we go shopping. We have a lot of pictures of those actually, of all the rings. If you want to post those,
I think I deleted them because I was trying to save space on my iPhone.
well, I for sure have them.
Yeah.
So then so that helped me out because I had a better idea of one, how much it would cost, and then two, what she liked overall. So from that point, still haven't talked to Marina's mom, haven't met her. But I think my relationship with Marina's dad has gotten a little bit better. Um, so at this point, regardless of how her parents felt and how just people who didn't, kind of want this to go through, I had kind of made up my mind, like, yeah, like I want to marry Merna. Like there's nothing else, I guess, out there for me that I really want. So this is what I want. So,
And I like asked him plenty of times. I was like, "Are you sure? Like you're ready to be married?" Because we were, I think you were 25, 26 maybe. I think you were like 26 because 27 because I told him I was like I want to be married by 25 or sorry 28.
that didn't really matter. Like, it's like whatever. Like,
Again,
okay,
yeah.
you'll get married when we get married, bro.
Right, but like I was coming from a background of like, marriage, like broken marriages and things like that, and I was just like, "Oh my god, 26 sounds so young for a guy." Because like a lot of Chaldean men that I know, don't get married until their 30s, some of them 40s. And I just was like, oh my gosh, 26 sounds so young. Like, and then, by the time we actually like plan for the wedding and stuff, like he'd be 27, which is still like young to me for a guy. So that's kind of like my mindset is like, a girl, she can be married at like 21 and feel ready, like, especially if she was like raised in that way where it's like, okay, you're going to get married, you're going to have kids, this is what you want, blah, blah, blah. But guys, it's like they're more lenient. So, like even though they still get asked, like, when are you going to get married? When are you going to get married? But they're like able to wait. So I just kind of was like, are you sure you're young? Like you sure this is it? Like you sure this is who you want to be with?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, we went ring shopping and then I think I told him I was like, because I wanted to be married by like 28, this was, so February is when we got engaged, February of 2019. And, I think like a year to be engaged is like perfect. That gives you plenty of time to, like have enough time to get all your vendors and all of this stuff because like I did want a typical Chaldean wedding. So I was like, okay, February, if I'm not engaged, like I better be engaged by February because I was like, okay, I'm about to turn 28 in a year. Like that's, whatever. I kind of did push it. I'm not going to lie, but I'm glad I did because it's like, we just wanted to like start our life. We were tired of being I don't know if I'm speaking for you, Ryan, but like I was tired of being like the topic of conversation. Like if anybody out there knows, like Middle Eastern girls know, it's like everywhere you go, how's Merna? Like what's Merna doing? How's Ryan? Blah, 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 blah. Like, are they still together? Like we were constantly the topic of conversation. Like I just wanted to be married and like get it done with. Because once I was married, everybody would just be quiet about it. It's like, oh, she's married now, you know, can't worry about her anymore. Like, like, you know, it's like old news basically. So I just, I wanted to get the process going, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it impacted me like that. Just wanted to start being a grown up, I guess, finally. You know,
Finally.
move out and start doing, grown up things, I guess.
Yeah.
But but yeah, so got the ring, started to plan, what we're gonna do. So I decided to do it in February, downtown Detroit. Um, didn't really plan it too correctly because it was freezing and I hate the cold. But got, I think, pretty much all of our friends to come,
Yep.
minus a few people that probably couldn't come because they had work or were just busy. But the majority of our friends were able to show up and come. My mom, my sister, let's see here, Merna's dad come. I'll get to that in a second. Merna's brother couldn't come because I think at that point,
I think he had a test, and
well,
a really, really like important test that he couldn't miss or something. I remember
I think
his
it was to
was
get into nursing school, wasn't it?
something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think something like that. And then wasn't your niece born by then? 2018?
Yeah, she was a year by then.
Yeah.
Or
No,
almost a year.
almost a year. So
Yeah.
yeah, so he obviously couldn't come. He's married, he's a kid, and he's trying to go back to school. So he was, super busy. And I did it kind of at a hard time to make it too. If you had a 9 to 5, because it was at 6:30. I'm pretty
It
sure.
was at 4:30. It was like
Are you
4:30,
sure?
5 o'clock, or like 6. It was like 5, 6 o'clock.
It was definitely 6.
Because I remember I left work right away and went straight to Detroit, and I leave work at like 4:30 at that time, and to drive down to Detroit would have been like around 5 o'clock. So
Okay, maybe that then.
yeah, because I remember I got ready at work, and yeah,
Okay.
and my aunt wanted to come, like Peggy's mom, but like I think she had a really important like doctor appointment or something, and again, it would have just been very hard because she would have been in the cold and like
Yeah.
walking and
Yeah.
stuff. Like it was a hot mess. And it was on a Thursday.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, not the best planned event because again, if you were working on a job, if you're married, if you have kids, you're definitely not gonna be able to make it.
Didn't you tell everybody like a week before? I think you told everybody like a week before. Hey.
I think I was waiting because I was going to do it on Valentine's Day, but I remember you saying don't do it on Valentine's Day because you didn't want your engagement to be on that day.
Yeah, I just thought
Because
that
we
was
did it
like
on the
cheesy.
17th, right?
No, we did it on the 21st, Ryan.
Okay, so then it was a week. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, February
I changed
21st.
it. So I told people about 2 weeks out. Because at first it was the 14th. Then I changed it to that next weekend because I think some people couldn't make it on the 14th anyway.
Wait, you're forgetting a big part. How did you even ask my dad for my hand?
Okay, I'm talking about planning it, bro.
No, I know, but that's before. That's part of the plan.
So yeah. So I got everybody to get there. And then that was pretty much it when it came to planning. I just invited people, told them to be here at this spot, and that we would come. It was kind of confusing for people though, because they thought I would ask her in front of them, and I didn't. But I'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, talk about how you asked for my hand, please.
Yellow. Okay.
Let's get in sequence. Thanks.
So, I don't know what day this was either. It's probably in January though. I kind of decided I would ask because I had already gotten the ring and I was working and decided that yeah, I was gonna go ask for Marina's hand from her dad. So I went to the store after work. It was kind of late, and um, the store was pretty much empty because I think it was right after Lotto. So and it was cold, so no one was really like walking around to get to the liquor store. But I got there and I'm in my work clothes and a jacket, and I just like very nervously, um, just kind of started talking. And right away, like when you start talking, like, hey, just want you to know, I love Merna. Um, I'm gonna try to be the best that I can for her. And right when like whenever you have like those first couple sentences come out, you know what's coming. So after I kept saying the same basic thing but in different ways, he was like, okay, okay, okay. What are you trying to say? Like what's going on? And I was like, yeah, I want. I don't know if I said I want to ask her permission to marry Myrna, but I think it was like, I want to marry your daughter. Like I want to marry Myrna, and I do remember him having like the biggest smile on his face when I did ask.
Really?
Yeah, it was a big, big smile.
Hmm.
And then um, he gave me a big hug, and then he uh, he said even though you're my son now, and even though you're bigger than me, I'll still kick your ass. And I was like, okay. But then yeah, I showed him the ring, and then yeah, and then I left. So that was that. So that was pretty nerve wracking because I knew pretty much all day I was just gonna ask him, and I had work from like 10 to 7 that day, so it was all I could think about, and like all I could really focus on was that. Um, so yeah, so that's how I asked for
Hmm.
Marina's hand, and I don't think I told you for a while either.
I think you told me.
Yeah,
I think you did tell me because I remember asking you, like I was just being very nosy, like
yeah,
what did he say, blah blah.
and during and as well. So when I asked him, I had already kind of had it planned out. But I told him I was like, "Can you please, try talking to Linda?" And he said, "Right, I don't think she's going to like it. I don't think she's going to approve of it, but I'll try to keep talking to her, me and Mark." So, um, I just said, "Please try to get her on board at least to meet me. Something like anything. I'll take anything. Even if I think I said even a phone call." And I told your dad to give her my number just to even call me. And this was, if we got engaged on the 21st, this was about 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks out from the engagement. So, fast forward, I got all the planning done. Everybody's coming. Who can come? Um, Still haven't heard from Marina's mom. Still haven't been able to talk to her. The night before, your brother and your dad called her and had a long conversation with her.
For like an hour, I think
Yeah,
they said, like
yeah, for an
literally an
hour.
hour, just talking to her and like telling her like this is you got to be there for your daughter, or like
Yeah,
stuff along those lines, like she's that's it, there's nothing we can do, like she chose him, he wants her, he asked for my hand, like my dad is like saying all this stuff. And from what I can remember, she was on board. Like she was gonna come, or like they thought that she was like, okay, she's coming to terms with this.
yeah. And I regret not trying a little bit harder. Um, because there were days where I was just going to go show up at Myrna's mom's house and try talking to her and asking for Myrna's hand again because um, Myrna's parents being separated, you kind of have to ask both. So I've always kind of felt regret when it comes to just not trying a little bit harder than I did.
Well, let me hold on. Let me stop you right there because I remember Ryan telling me like, what if I just showed up at your house, or what if I did this, or what if I did that? And I was the one who was like, no, don't do that. She will not like that at all. Like I'm just trying to think of like the best way that my mom can meet him, and it's if it's like a surprise, it's gonna feel like a surprise attack to her. Like it's not gonna be like, oh, okay, I'll welcome you with open arms. At least that's what I thought. Like I was the one who was telling him don't do that stuff.
My
So
thought process was like, I'm gonna show up and then she's gonna accept me. It was at least I'm like, I went out my
yeah,
way to come here to say hi.
right. But again, at that time, I legit thought that was even a bad idea
Yeah,
because she was just my mom was like my mom was just very very difficult.
just stubborn,
Like just very very difficult to talk to about this, and just her mind was just like very much made up. I mean, I was willing to accept that she wasn't going to come,
Yeah,
to the wedding if, once we got engaged and all that stuff. I was like, okay, it is what it is. And I think even Ryan asked me for her number to call, and I was like, no, I don't want to do that, blah blah blah, cuz like anyone who knows my mom, she calls like from a private number. Like automatically when she calls somebody it shows up private. So, my mom was like growing up, like she would say, don't give anybody my number. Don't give anybody my number. So I was afraid to give Ryan her number because of that, like, cause she only wanted a few people to know her number and all that. Cause we have a house phone too. So like, it's like if anybody needed to reach her, they can call the house phone. So I didn't give Ryan the number because I didn't want to piss her off. And did she call you
so
before or after the engagement?
during, so I couldn't answer. I didn't answer.
It was during the engagement?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
But so
Well, first let's talk about the engagement a little
yeah,
bit.
because you're all over the place.
I know, but because like there's so many details about this,
Okay. Okay.
Where we at on time, real quick? Where we at on time?
33 minutes.
Oh, okay, cool.
All right, so it's the day before, and I think that's when they had the hour conversation with her, and they told me that she wasn't going to be able to make it or wasn't coming. So I said, okay, I'm coming to terms with, this is how it's going to be. She's never going to, accept it. So the day of, I get off early, rush downtown, and to get Merna downtown, I told her I got free.
You said that you have a coupon to Andiamo's in downtown that your boss gave you.
Yeah.
That's
I had a coupon on Andiamo's downtown. Meet me after work. We're gonna go have like an early dinner. And
date night.
And I think Merna and I both love Andiamo, so they said, we're gonna go do it on the riverfront. It'll be a nice date. Boom. So
and I kept like telling Ryan like, oh well, what should I wear? Like, what should I, whatever. Like,
and again, I told her multiple times, wear something comfortable.
But I was like, this is date night. We're on the riverfront. We're going to Andiamo's. I wanted to dress up. I barely dress up.
Something comfortable.
So I ended up wearing this nice, it's just like a simple, like, what do you call bodycon dress and heels. And, like I painted my nails and stuff. Like I just was like, oh yeah, date night. Like we never go out. We never dress up. So I was just super excited to like just go and, have date night and eat and walk around and whatever.
Yeah. So she shows up. It's maybe in the 20s.
Bro,
30s.
it was in the 30s, but since you're by a river
And you're downtown with big buildings, it's so cold. Like so cold. And so I'm waiting for her at what building is that? The Renaissance building? Is what it's in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe
So
so, yeah.
I'm waiting there. So she had parked in a parking garage.
I don't even remember. Yeah, I think I parked by the parking garage at the Renaissance.
Okay, so if you're from, I guess, Michigan and have been downtown and you kind of have been to the Riverwalk and been to the Renaissance Center, you kind of know where that parking garage is. So and kind of how long that walk is to come back up. So she's walking in her heels
to the riverfront.
to her front, and then
And then I meet him there, and we, instead of going in the Renaissance building to go into Andiamo's, he's like, yeah, we're not going to eat here. And I was like, what are you talking about?
I think I straight up told her, I was like, hey, I lied.
Yeah.
We're not having
Like,
dinner tonight.
and guys, I was hungry.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like hangry because I didn't, I'm coming from work, like I haven't eaten since lunch. And I was super excited to just like eat.
Yeah.
So,
So instead of that, I just said, let's just walk over here. Let's just go over here for a little bit. So we walk. So I don't know if you remember.
we walked down the steps to the river.
Was it like the big steps,
Yeah.
right? So there's actual steps that you can walk down, like regular steps, and then there are like those bleacher stand type stone steps where it's like a big step that you can either sit on or walk down. So I'm helping her walk down, and I don't think she noticed right away, but I had I have a high school buddy who's a photographer that I hired him. I was like, hey, just come sit on these steps and just kind of watch for us to come out. So and that, by the way, I had planned. I came up to Detroit the week prior. I had left Merna at our friend's house for about an hour, and my excuse was why I was gone for so long because it was so bad out.
Wait, what?
I left you at Reese and Christian's house,
Okay.
and I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to Kroger."
Are you
And
serious?
yeah, and I told
I don't
Reese and
even
Christian like,
remember
"Hey,
this.
I'm gonna go downtown, meet my friend. We're gonna go over the plan, and then I'll be right back." It took an hour because one, Detroit is about 25 minutes from Livonia, and then to walk around and meet up another about 15, 20 minutes, and then 20 minutes back.
How
So
how did that even happen? Because knowing me, I would have been like, oh, I want to come.
when Merna is around friends, she's so easily distracted, and time has no sense to her. So I was like, okay, she'll be distracted. She has friends talking to her. She'll be fine. Like, I'm gonna just go.
This is the very first time I'm hearing about this.
Yeah.
I feel like I would have remembered this.
And of course, she called me and like, hey, where are you? I'm like, hey, I'm here. The weather is so crazy. And I didn't lie per se. It was snowing, but it was like that snaky snow that comes on the ground. But it was super cold, and yeah. So
Oh my god.
so we planned that out, and we get to the riverfront, and we're walking down those steps, and then I get to the point that we had talked about with the photographer, and then yeah, I just told her I loved her, and then granted it was so cold that of course I had a speech in my mind all planned out, but when I got down on one knee, I kid you not, I just blinked, and I was just like, shoot. So I was just like, I love you. Will you marry me?
And I think I kissed him and I like hugged him, and I don't even think I gave you an answer right away. And you're like, well?
No. You said of course.
Oh, yeah.
You said of
yeah.
course. I remember that.
You do? Oh.
And then this was my fault for not thinking about this last
yeah,
part.
Yeah.
But okay. So instead of having a car nearby or someone to come pick us up, we walked from the riverfront
To Campus Marshes.
to Campus Marshes.
Which is a good, like, 15-minute walk.
And it took a while because she's in heels, so we can't like power walk it, and it's freezing. We walk through the Renaissance Center to give us some type of like cover, but then you gotta get out on Jefferson, walk up Jefferson. You gotta make a left and a right, and then eventually you get there.
It's a long walk. And the photographer, the guy, what's his name? I forgot. Josh?
It's Jack.
Jack is, he's like he's like this cool like white dude with like long blonde hair, or like, dirty blonde or whatever that's called. And he's like following us, and I'm like, Ryan, I think there's somebody following us. And he looks back and he's like, you want me to say something to him? And I was like, no, just like keep just keep going. But like, why is he following us? And because I saw him at the steps when he was sitting down at the steps, but I didn't notice that he was taking pictures of us.
I don't know
When
how when you can hear the literal shutter of the camera going.
I was, in shock. I was, well, not shock, but like I was like, in the moment. And
So
yeah, like
so
he
yeah.
just followed us the whole time. And then,
So what's that place on the side of Campus Marshes that has all those little stores?
uh, like in the wintertime?
Yeah. Whatever
Uh,
that thing is called, like it happens every time around this year. Like I think if you go down there this year, around this time of the year, they have that. It's a big see-through, like plastic glass
yeah,
pop-up thing.
they have like little store, little pop-up shops
Yeah,
and
it's
stuff.
there's like a big one where you can go sit down, you can drink, get hot chocolate. There's tables in there, and then they have these little like pop-up shops where you can buy the most random like
Stuff.
home stuff and all that stuff. And of course, I thought that was there, um, and it wasn't. They had taken it down after the holidays were over. So, because my original plan was we'll meet there, we'll eat there, and then we'll do our thing. But so we bend the corner, and that's the first thing you see, and it's all just like torn down. I was like, oh snap, there goes like the eating plan. So
And our friends were hiding too.
not really, they were just far.
They were no, they were hiding because they're like, "Oh, we see." I think I have a video where Rita or somebody was like, "Oh, we see them, we see them. We gotta hide," or something like
There's
that.
nowhere to hide though.
Yeah, like I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
so we met right in front of where the Christmas tree is usually in Campus Marshall. So literally
Yeah.
right in the middle.
Yeah.
Um, so we met down there, and it was the longest walk from when we saw them to when we were actually able to go up and hug everybody and say hi and thank you for coming.
And that was the first time that my dad met his family. So like his
Wait, so you're
mom.
going too fast.
Oh, sorry.
So it was kind of like perfect, and so we're there. We see everybody, we hug everybody, and
I'm like overwhelmed by how
yeah,
many people are
overwhelmed,
there.
and everyone's there except for Marina's dad, and I felt so bad because there was like no one there from her side that could come. Of course, we had her friends there, but it was like still not like none of her family could make it. But eventually, Marina's dad is walking, and it's just him by himself. I was hoping it would be him and like her mom, but it was just him. And he's walking from like where the skating rink would be. So he was like kind of a slow walk. But eventually, he's walking, and at this point, Merna didn't see him until I kind of was like I like tapped her on the shoulder, and I was like, look who made it. And then it was um her dad was walking up. And then do you want to tell them
Yeah.
how you kind of like what you felt? You can see it in the
So
pictures for sure.
I actually have a video of that. Okay. Ow. You messed up our. Oh wait, there we go. Okay. Um, sorry, Ryan just like moved the mic for a second. But anyway, so I made eye contact with my dad, and I just immediately started busting out crying. Um, because I just was so overwhelmed with emotion, like so happy that he was there, so sad that like so sad that I don't know how to explain it. Like I was sad that it's like I'm this happy that my dad made it. Like it should be a given. I shouldn't ever have to like think to myself like my dad won't be there at my engagement or my mom won't be there. You know what I mean? But it's just like I was so happy at the same time because it's like he put all his feelings aside and was there for me, which was all I ever asked for. Like all I ever wanted was just like, dude, put for my mom and for my dad, like for anybody that I was really close with that like wasn't approving of the relationship. It's just like if you would just put your feelings and your thoughts and your worries and your fears aside, you would see how beautiful this is. You know, like you would see how happy your daughter is or how happy your son is or whoever, you know, and how wonderful this moment is because to be quite honest, my engagement was very bittersweet. You know, like we'll get into that later, but like I just was so freaking happy that he was there. Like it made such a difference. Like I was like, okay, I think we made it. Like I think there's some light at the end of the tunnel. And you know, he met his mom and he met his sister and we took pictures together and all of that and it was like it was really really nice. And some people had to leave right away. But what's crazy is that my dad was going to back out. I don't think Ryan remembers this, but I remember his mom telling me your dad backed out last minute, like the day before or something like that. Like he wasn't going to show up. And the reason being is because like my mom um what said she's not going. Mark, my brother, couldn't make it. Like my aunt couldn't make it. Like it just was like my dad's like, I'm not gonna be the only one there. I don't want to, you know, that looks bad that I'm the only one there. You know what I mean? Like there was certain things that just kind of like he didn't like the fact that he was gonna be the only one there. So like Ryan was like freaking out. And I'm so surprised you don't remember this. Like your mom was literally telling me like you were freaking out and just trying to like get him to be like, you know, who cares if like this person can't make it? Like you got to be there for your daughter or something along those
Yeah,
lines.
that I don't remember at all. Because if he did tell me he couldn't make it, that next day he told me that he couldn't make it. So it was, I might have not have had the
Mental capacity.
mental capacity to deal with um, defeat and then victory within like a span of maybe like what 12 hours. So
Yeah, and
I
already
might have just
feeling
been
nervous.
okay. Like it might have just been he's coming, he's not coming, and then I just got rid of the not coming because he came.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like whatever.
Yeah, but you know, whoever had to go left, and we had a few
Yeah.
friends stay with us, and we ended up going to Shake Shack.
Yeah. So part of the ill plan that I did was just like since the that that pop up eating place and bar wasn't open, I was like, well, where we gonna go, y'all? Who's hungry? And everybody was like, how about Shake Shack? I was like, perfect. So we went to Shake Shack and ate, and then we FaceTimed people who couldn't get there on time and all of that. So it turned out to be a pretty good day, good night. Um, we had all
Well, that time turned out pretty good.
yeah.
Because immediately when we went into Shake Shack, like it was like imagine, oh man, like imagine feeling overwhelmed with such joy and emotion to just immediately have it like robbed. You know, like this is probably not a very good like analogy, but it's the only one that just comes up to my head right now, like comes up in my mind. So forgive me if I'm like, you know, uh comparing it to like something that's, you know, whatever. So it's like you have given birth to your child, okay? Ryan has no idea where I'm going with this. So his facial
No clue.
expressions are awesome. Are hilarious. You just given birth to your child and you're just so ecstatic with emotion. And again, this is just something that I can imagine because I'm not a mother, but you're just so ecstatic with emotion and then the doctors immediately have to take the child away because like poor thing isn't like breathing properly, so they just like need to check it really quick, check him or her, you know, something like and you as a mother are just like, where are they taking my baby, where are they taking, like just immediate, like from euphoria to like immediate like worry, and like it like you're just constantly like that euphoric feeling is like gone, you know. So where I'm going with this is like immediately when we went to Shake Shack and got settled down with like the people who could stay, like a couple of our friends and stuff, like Ryan was like, okay, so when you come home, like you know, your mom is not really happy. She's like, how did you word it? You were just like your mom is not happy, you know, so you have an option of like um sleeping at home, or if you want to like you know, stay over my house, because we were going to Chicago the very next day. So
Yeah, I mean, I was just like, I was kind of worried because I didn't know what she was facing when she went home because, God only knows. So I'm just like, hey, if, like you just said, if you have to, sleep here. If it gets bad, um, but like just whatever happens, just give me a call and just know that this isn't how it's always going to be.
mm-hmm.
And again, this is going back to the last few episodes. Like I have to kind of sit on the sidelines while she goes and faces, all this by herself again. So it was one of those nights where I just felt very happy, but it was just like, you know, like Merna kind of is trying to describe. It's literally right back to where we were.
Yeah.
So it was hours of happiness and smiles that then it's like, okay, Merna has to go home.
Yeah, like celebrating the little wins that we've had, you know, my dad coming, and just like all of a sudden it's like back to reality.
Yeah.
So we ate at Shake Shack. We had a great time. I wasn't hangry, and I'm driving home, and I, my mom was in her room, and my aunt was like in the living room, and I showed her, like, hey, look, I got engaged, and like she wasn't happy. Like, this is my mom's sister. My mom's sister is like very neutral. Like, you never know what she's thinking or like she doesn't have an opinion on anything. Like, she's always like whatever you want, or like it's whatever, you know, like if you ask her like do you like this or you like this? Whatever you like, you know, like she's a very very neutral person. So when she was like not like happy for me, I was like, out of all the times you could tell me your opinion, you know, I was just very like, you know, what do you mean you're not happy? Like, you see that I'm happy and all of this stuff. But again, thinking back, like she never met him, and she's just going based off of what her mom or what her sister is essentially feeling. So, you know, I just was like, you know what, like shame on you and blah 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 blah. Like, and you know, just being my rebellious like talking back and like self or whatever, just like trying to make them feel bad because I was hurting, you know. And then I went into my mom's room, and she just oh, I don't even know how it started, but like she just was so upset because first of all, Ryan didn't reach out to her. He should have asked for her, like for my hand through her. And I was like, where is this coming from? I'm like, you didn't even want to meet him. You wanted nothing to do with him. Every single time I've literally asked you to meet him, talk to him, see him, talk on the phone with him, like you had wanted nothing to do with him. And you know, she, like I said, I was like, Chaldeans like ask the dad. You know, like that's our tradition, is like you ask the dad for, you know, whatever. But in her mind, she's like, you know, again, because my parents are divorced, and like even though like, you know, my dad didn't live with us, like he still was very much a part of our lives and stuff. But my mom feels like because I lived with her, I basically was raised, you know, also by her, and that like she should have had a say. So I get that, but it's like at the same time, like if I can just paint the picture for you guys, like she was not having it. She didn't want to have anything to do with him. So how do you like convince somebody, you know, to meet someone or like, you know, like it, to me it wasn't fair that she had that expectation. Let's just put it that way. And I think she ended up calling him, but the number was private. Obviously, she was calling him on private, as Ryan was saying earlier during our engagement, and he didn't pick up because he obviously doesn't pick up private numbers, and she didn't leave a message.
I think I don't remember when, because she called me. I think we were walking to meet everybody, so I didn't answer it on purpose because she left a voicemail.
She didn't leave a
Yes, she
voicemail.
did.
Oh, she did?
It was, if I can remember, it was her and her best friend that had called me, like on a three-way, and it was probably just to help if there was any miscommunication where I didn't understand her or she didn't understand me.
But who left the voicemail?
It wasn't like an actual voicemail. It was them on the phone, and then I think after my voicemail said, because I have like a automated voicemail saying, this person can't come to the phone, blah blah blah. Someone said no, and then they hung up. Like it
Oh,
was,
yeah.
like it's one of those
Yeah.
no's. Like it was like, oh, they didn't answer. Like nope. It's so then like they hung up.
Right. So essentially, she didn't leave a voicemail, like
Yeah,
saying,
but
"Hey,
they
this is Linda. Call me back." Whatever. That's
but
what I'm trying to get at.
yeah, but she tried to call. I didn't answer, and it was because we were walking to go meet everybody.
And plus, it was a private number.
Yeah.
So, I, she brought that up. She's like, he didn't even call me. I'm the one who called him. And I was like, and he didn't even like respond or call me back. And I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, I was there. You called him. First of all, you're calling from a private number and you left no voicemail. How is he supposed to call you back? You know, like she just had these unrealistic expectations. In my mind, they were unrealistic, but in her mind, they were very like realistic and should have been done. Like I said, he should have called her and asked for her hand or asked for my hand through her. He should have like, tried harder to like meet her and stuff. And I told her, I was like, I'm the one who stopped him. Like, I'm the one who said, no, that's not a good idea. You didn't want anything to do with him. So, like, why would I do that? So, and then I honestly can't remember. Did I end up staying by you or sleeping I think I slept at my house.
Yeah, because you got home, and I think you talked with her mom for a little bit.
And I think I just didn't want it to be a fight. Cause, like,
Yeah.
obviously, like, I'm a girl. I can't sleep over, like, a guy's house and stuff like that. Even though, like, we're being very respectful. Like, we're not sleeping, in this, whatever. Like, we're not, like, I'm literally just going there to sleep there because we're going to Chicago at, like, 7 a.m, And
Yeah.
he from where he's at, like, Chicago is, like, a 4-hour drive versus 5 hours at my house. So,
Yeah, because you slept at home, because then
yeah.
we talked, and you said it wasn't that bad, and that you'd be sleeping there.
No, it was bad. It was bad.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I think you told me it wasn't that bad, and you'd be sleeping there.
Yeah, I just literally remember, like,
And plus, I think you
telling
were
her.
tired.
Yeah, I was very
It's a long
tired.
drive back. What's the point? You gotta,
Yeah.
So I think you're just gonna go to sleep anyway.
Yeah, I was very, like, just angry. Like, I felt robbed. Like, I felt like my engagement was robbed.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I mean when I say, like, my engagement was bittersweet. Because, like, I've been waiting for this day my whole life. Like, since I was probably 14, 15, 16, whatever. Like, and it just was, like, it ended so horribly. And I was trying to, like, stay in the moment and be present and, be happy that my dad showed up and all of this stuff. And I just, like, I feel like I didn't, again, have a traditional engagement. I mean, there's nothing about me that's traditional, as you guys, can hear. Like, it just, that was like, I see, like, Chaldeans with their tanithas and stuff. And tanitha is like, how do I explain for non-Middle Eastern or non-Chaldean? Like, it's basically asking of the hand, like, in front of the family. Like, the man asks for the girl's hand in front of her family, and I think, like, his family's there too or something like that, and they shower her with gifts and stuff. Like, I didn't want all of that, but it's like, dang, dude, like, can I have my family there? Can I have my family being supportive, like, and just be happy for me and stuff? Like, usually engagements in the Middle Eastern culture, it's like a huge thing. Like, it's very exciting. People are happy. Like, people are just, like, just super happy for the couple, like, So I felt like I didn't have that. Like if it wasn't for my friends, like being so happy for me to just kind of like help me um be distracted from like my family not being happy about this engagement, like it just was really hard. It was really hard. So the next day I just got up really early and drove to Ryan's house and we went to Chicago, and honestly that couldn't have been the best. Like there was it couldn't have been a better plan. Like I encourage anybody to, if they get engaged, immediately go if you can. Obviously, because like again, financial wise, and like I don't know if families like allow like engaged couples to like go on vacation or whatever, but like it was so nice to get out of town immediately after the engagement because it was like a honeymoon in a sense. To get away from Michigan, get away from the drama, get away from all of that stuff, to go to Chicago where it's the city that we love, and see my cousin and see his family and all of that stuff. It was just like really nice. And I really, really, really was happy that I was seeing my cousin, because there were things that my mom said to me that I won't, say on the podcast, because again, even though things are different now, like extremely different, like my mom's very, happy and stuff. Like it just, I don't want to paint that picture of her, and I just like I know she doesn't mean it. So, but there were things that she texted to me and said to me that were just very, very hurtful. And like my cousin just like reminded me like, hey, this is not your mom. Like she's just going through something right now. Like she's gonna come around and all of that stuff. And I had to like, I basically had to act like my mom didn't say those things, So, but anyway, yeah, like the engagement was, or like that part was like really, really nice, like to just kind of get away. And Ryan planned our little getaway so perfectly. He got us a like couples massage, and I think we went out to dinner. Did we go out to dinner, or we
I
went to
don't think so. I
Wildberry?
think the biggest thing was we got here, we stayed at a hotel. There's a outlet mall here in Illinois, right near the O'Hare Airport that we stayed at.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in the so the hotel is literally like across the street from the mall. So we stayed at the hotel for a couple of nights, went to the mall, went shopping, and then with Merna's cousin Peggy living 20 minutes from where we were staying, we
Yeah.
would come over here and hang out. But yeah, it was a nice weekend overall. We were able to get away, even though it was pretty cold out. It was still, a nice weekend trip to just get away from everything.
Yeah, it was really nice. And we came back home, and I just like for that month, because Ryan finally met my mom on St. Patrick's Day. It was a Sunday, a month after our engagement, like almost a month after our engagement. And it was because of a very big fight that we had like the week prior. Like me and my mom had a very big fight. Like I can't remember how it started, but like she just was going on and on about like how I at one point in my life said I would never marry a black guy or a Muslim guy or something like that, and my mom's talking about a time where I probably was like 18, 19, very, very close minded, very, very like, again, wanted to marry a Chaldean, and whereas now, like at this point in my life, I'm very open minded. Like, I don't care who I marry, just as long as, he's respectful and educated, and, the religion matters. So, like, the same religion and all that stuff. But, like, it just, she was just like stuck on that, and I couldn't even remember saying that. Like, that's how probably long ago it was. And I'm just like trying to like reason with her about meeting him. And she was like, no, I'm not going to meet him and all of this stuff. And I just like, it got very, very heated. I'm not going to go into details because we're running out of time. One, two, I'm just like, I don't want to go there. Um,
Yeah, so
it got
we
very heated.
so
And
eventually
no, 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 hold on. I'm not done yet.
she says I don't want to get into it, but then
I don't want to get into it because I want to, there's a specific part that's very important. So, um, as we're going back and forth for like 2 hours, just like yelling at each other and stuff, I was like, you know what, Mom, that's it. You're going to meet him. I know you have days off on Sunday. Next Sunday, you're going to meet him. And I think I texted Ryan to ask him, like, do you have anything? Or like, we were sharing a calendar at that time. So like, I saw that we didn't have anything going on. It was St. Patrick's Day. It's a Sunday. Like, no big deal. So I told her, I was like, you're meeting him next week. That's final. Like, enough is enough. He's going to come here. We're going to eat at a restaurant and you're going to get to know him and you're going to meet him. And she was like, I'm going to be busy that day. like, and I was like, no, you're not, because I know your schedule. And that was it. Like, I was like, are you kidding me? Like, all I had to do was just force her to meet you. Like, I could have saved so much time. Like, I was just like in shock that that's all it took. Like, all it took was for me to just be like, put my foot down and like tell her you're meeting him. So fast forward to that week, we go to this little restaurant, family restaurant on Van Dyke called Savory Grill. And Ryan comes with flowers to give to my mom. And she was just like, listen, I don't care what anyone says. She looked at him and she was like, oh, wow, he's cute. Like in her mind, I swear.
I mean,
what do you think? Like, what do you remember that first, like, time seeing her? Like, how was it? Were you nervous?
I mean, it helps that I'm good looking.
Okay, I like it.
It just makes it a little bit easier to look at me.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, she I mean, it was so hard to read her because, again, like, when you meet the one that was the most difficult, and it's just like, it was just one of those moments where it's like, okay, it's about time, but you can't really show any like passive aggressiveness. You can't be vindictive. You can't be like, you can't get into like the nitty gritty of like, why are we just meeting now? It's just, you kind of gotta just like just say it. It's one of those moments where it's like, okay, it's about time. Let's make this relationship from this point forward of being, this is how our relationship is. You can't blame them for what happened in the past. And like, in my mind, that day I met Merna's mom was kind of that day of like, oh, okay, this is her mom from going forth from this day. And I hope that in her mind, this is Ryan going from this day. And I think that's how our relationship is right now. Is it kind of started not from when Merna told them, but more of a when like the first day I met Ryan. This is how we've been since then.
Yeah, I just remember like my mom talked about herself the whole time. Like for I think it was like an hour and a half or so we were at the restaurant. She
Wasn't
just
that
like,
long.
She was talking about herself the whole time, like which tells me that she was comfortable. That's why I'm saying that. Like, I'm not like making her seem like, she's like narcissistic or whatever, but like she was just comfortable. And like, I just remember Ryan feeling like, like bad, for like the things that she was like talking about and stuff that were like hurtful towards her. And my mom is very adamant about, like, if you hurt my daughter, like, she's very, very protective over me. She'll never, like, say it out loud, but, like, she'll joke with Ryan even till now, like, if you cheat on my daughter or if you beat her or something, like, you're done. Like, you're...
Yeah, the most recent and funniest example would be whenever I learn, like, bad Middle Eastern words, like, this word I learned over the past week or so. Jaifa, which is like
which is Arabic for
dirty, but
yeah.
like it's
But
not like, you know, like your clothes are dirty. It's like it
you're a
bad
dirty
words
person.
bad words in Arabic just carry more weight.
I think in any language, it's any foreign
Yeah,
language. Like
just they just carry so much weight.
yeah.
So when we were back home for Thanksgiving, I I think we were eating pie, and me and Merna always joke like we're mad at each other when we're over there. But I was like, but like I made sure to say it in like a smiling way, but I was like Jaifa, and then Myrna's mom started laughing, and she was like, "Don't ever say that again."
Like she
But
just like was like she just like put a what do you call it, a cork in it or whatever right away. Like she
yeah,
did not want him to continue saying that stuff.
but yeah,
But you know, she just like I said, like, you know, she got a chance to know him and stuff and whatnot. And so after that meeting, you know, we went home and my mom called me right away. I mean, it's like it's 2 miles away from, like, it's like a few miles away from my house, you know, like it's not that far. It's like maybe 10 minutes, not even, away. And she calls me immediately after we leave. And she's like, you know, Mirna, your dad like made him seem like he was like so respectful and so good looking and so this and so that. She's like, you know, he's not that big of a deal. Like
oh my
he's
gosh,
nice, you know, he's nice. Yeah, he's respectful and he's good looking, but like, you know, like it's just he made him seem like I forgot what word she described him, like not melek, which is like a king, but like in Arabic, but like she thought like he was like this, like, oh my goodness, like you're gonna just be amazed, you know. And I was like, what are you even saying? Like he is all of those things, you know. And she's like, yeah, he's nice, but like I don't know, your dad made him seem like this and that and blah blah blah. And I just started laughing and whatnot. And I'm not kidding, guys, like after that it just was like it was smooth, not smooth sailing from there, because obviously we had to deal with like our parents dealing with family members who don't accept us, but now they accept us. You
yeah,
know, like my family accepts us. So that was just kind of from there, which we'll get into in the next episode.
yeah. So that's kind of where the coming to terms thing kind of came into. It's just like they had kind of realized I wasn't going anywhere probably after the engagement, but then at this point it's just like, okay, this is it. Like we gotta reconcile with everything that we've said and our differences, and just move forward with accepting the fact that this is going to be kind of, this is how it is going
Yeah.
forward. Let's
Like
not be upset. Let's be happy. Let's just enjoy it.
like I think my dad, when he told Ryan, or when Ryan, like, you know, asked for my hand and all that stuff, like my dad was like, you know, like just kind of giving Ryan a reality check, like, well, you know, her mom is going to be a difficult one to deal with. And I think that just like my dad maybe was like hoping it wouldn't work out like from there. But then when my mom like just kind of you know, came along with it, like she was you know, it was just kind of like more reason to believe like, okay, like this is it, like we got to come to terms, like in my mom and dad's like perspective, like we have to come to terms with this, like he's not going anywhere, she's choosing him, like this is really happening.
Yeah.
So
But yeah.
but yeah, and you know, we will talk about in their next episode like everything that happened during the engagement leading up to our wedding,
Our COVID wedding.
our COVID wedding.
But
Yep.
yeah. Thank you for putting up with my congested voice.
You
I
sound fine.
do apologize.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, we will try to get back on schedule next week
Yeah,
when it
like
comes to Tuesday release. But this
Tuesday
one
release at 12 o'clock Michigan time.
Eastern. Just say
Eastern.
Eastern, maybe somewhat professional.
Oh, okay. All right, guys. Thank you for riding with us, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.